Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kate and this is my first video on YouTube. Today I'm actually going to be sharing my budgeting system with you. And I did just start the system a few weeks ago, so it's not perfected yet, but I am definitely working on it. But if you would like to see, more videos like this, then, definitely do like this video and subscribe so that I know that this is interesting and comment what you want to see next. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the budget. All right, so everything that you see here is everything that I use for my budgeting. I know it's a little bit chaotic, but I'll kind of go through and explain everything that I have. This is where I house all of my cash envelopes. I am on a cash budget. I do cash stuffing and cash envelopes, and I do work on a zero-based budget. With that being said, I have heard of Dave Ramsey and the style that he does. For me personally, if I'm following a strict system, I'm honestly not going to be able to keep up. I'm going to fall behind and I'm going to, lose motivation. So for me, it was important to create my own system in a sense. And I think you'll find that there is a lot of similarities in a lot of zero-based budgets, Dave Ramsey budgets, other budgets. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but it's a pretty similar system, just has some tweaks that go to my own personal lifestyle. So I actually made every single envelope in here with a laminator. So this is all of my envelopes right here, and this is just a piece of marble paper. And I made this bigger envelope to hold all of my envelopes that I have. And then I just use a binder clip to tape it or to keep it all together. I'm not really into anything too fancy. I do like things to be looking nice, but in the terms of this, like it functions, it works really well for me. So this is perfect. But I'll go ahead and move that out of the way and kind of get into the envelopes first. So I have a few different types of envelopes, and I have the sinking fund envelopes, and then I have the revolving funds. The envelopes that don't really get spent every time that you stuff the cash in them. You're stuffing them to save for something specific or to just save in general. So I have that. I have sinking and revolving, and these are going to be the revolving funds right here on top. So it's going to be, of course, groceries, gas, it's going to be toiletries, luxury, and luxury for me is just going to be if I'm going to get my nails done, if I'm going to get my hair done, if I want to buy some clothes. So most people do label this one spending. I also have the envelope for my children, my animals, that I stuff Tiggy and Jinxie. They are my cats. I have this really cute envelope that's paw prints. So that's going to be all of my revolving funds. So anything that is going to be spent weekly or monthly. So that is all of my revolving. This right here is going to be all of my sinking. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way for now to show all my sinking funds. So this is going to be car maintenance. And I actually do want to show something specific with car maintenance. How I calculate this is I take what I think my car maintenance for the year is going to be. So this is going to be my registration, this is going to be oil changes, maybe unexpected maintenance, or if I know I'm going to have to get, like new tires or new brakes or something like that year. So what I did is I actually created this little card. And we have two cars, and I should mention that in my household, I am budgeting for two people, two adults, so myself and one other person. We have two incomes. So this is both of our cars. So the Rogue is going to be my car, the Jetta is going to be their car. So I estimated tags to be about $350 for my car. I'm actually not too sure what it's going to be. I did just get my car a few months ago, so I really don't know, but I'm assuming because it is a newer car and it is an SUV, that it is going to be a little bit on the higher side, so I just decided to save $350. This is about how much I predict per year. So I get paid weekly, So what we do is we take this $1,300 and divide it by 52 weeks in a year. That's about $25 per week, but instead I do budget $30 per week just in case. I always like to save and over budget, but that's going to be my first sinking fund. The next one is going to be travel. This one did rip on the side, so I did put some tape there. I will have to relaminate it when I get time. But this is travel. And with each of these envelopes, I actually did write out with a marker the name of it on the paper before I laminated it. And I just like the look of this a little bit better. And that's going to be travel. The other one that I have is moving. So I do want to move, not anytime super soon, but I am saving for it. And the second to last one is going to be my rent/savings. So at first I did have all of the rent cash in here, and then savings, whatever didn't get spent on rent was going to go for savings. But instead what I did was I actually just transferred the money over in my bank account to a separate savings account that is designated for rent. That way I don't have to worry about depositing this at the end of the month. And then whatever is left in this envelope is just savings completely. The last envelope I have is going to be my debt snowball. This one doesn't have a permanent name on it because I did just make a few envelopes just in case some things came up. Now, I'm not using this as the snowball effect. I know a lot of people do the snowball system. I don't do that. I just like debt snowball. I like the wording of that. So I put any extra bills, anything that was left over from groceries or gas, toiletries, any of these categories right here. If there's anything left over by the next check, it's gonna go into the debt snowball. I'm not super focused on paying off debt right now. I would love to be, but it's just not really in the budget at this time. But those are all of my envelopes. What I'm gonna show you next is my wallet. My envelopes actually don't fit in my wallet. They're a little bit too long, plus the wallet doesn't zip up, so it wouldn't really work well that way. I am actually looking to sell this wallet because I do want to get a wallet that fits the envelopes and one that zips up so I can securely store them. But once that sells, then I will look into getting a new wallet. So I have this. I actually had an old surfer magazine, and I really wanted to make more envelopes, but I didn't want to go out and purchase more cardstock. I realized that I had this surfer magazine, and I created a bunch. I actually put one in my car, and I have my car insurance slip in here, my registration, and it works perfectly because this is just housed all together in my car, my glove box, and I don't have to worry about it getting lost or anything like that. It has a designated place. But what I use this one for is actually to hold all of my receipts. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm not sure if it really is a good system for me to be keeping all the grocery store receipts. For now, I'm doing it. For now, it works. We'll kind of see in the future. These are the two notebooks I use. I primarily use this notebook, which I did get at Target for about $10, I want to say. I absolutely love this notebook. So I don't really use this one that much, so I'm going to go ahead and show it first. Right now I don't really have much in here. What I just started doing, and I actually just started doing this last week, is I did a spending tracker. Of course, with quarantine and everything, we are spending a lot more on groceries than we usually do, and we're having to go to a lot more stores than we usually do. A lot of stores are sold out of things here in California. It's really hard to find groceries, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be continuing with it. I do like the idea of it because I kind of know where all of my money is going. It kind of helps to keep that tracker there. What I'm going to show actually is kind of what an average weekly budget will look for me. So instead of showing you like my entire budget week by week by week, I actually took the time to create this weekly budget. This is what I would ideally like to see. So what I have is typically our income ideally is $1,000. And you'll notice here where it says weekly bills, it says $425 or $325. And I'll go ahead and explain that because down here in rent and savings, we have $350 or $450. So every single week, my weekly bills are going to be a little bit different. Sometimes they're going to be less, sometimes they're going to be more. So if I'm going to be spending more on my bills, then I'm going to be putting less in my savings. But this is kind of going to be the least amount I want to put in my savings. I don't want to put anything lower than this. And this is going to be the highest amount I want to spend on bills. I don't want to spend anything more than this. Hey guys, so I'm actually editing this video right now, and I realize what I said can be a little bit confusing. So I wanted to come in here and kind of just explain it a little bit further. So with my weekly bills, if they are equal or greater than $425, then I'm going to use money from my bills savings. If my bills are equal or lesser than $325, then I'm going to transfer into bills savings. So for an example, if my bills week 1, so I'm going to put 1 for week 1, is $200, then it's under that $325. So I'm going to transfer money into the bills savings account that I have to help for the next week bills, because I know that next week bills is $470, which is greater to that $425. So I know I'm going to need to take money from the bill savings. So I'm going to go ahead and explain the accounts that I have. So these are my bank accounts, and these are my checking accounts. So I have the account that I get my direct deposit in, and then I have my bills savings. So this is the money I'll put, or anything that I allot for bills savings goes into that account. And then I transfer from the direct deposit account into the bills account whatever needs to be paid for that week. So that's the system that works for me to keep me on track for the year and to keep me on track to pay rent on time. So this is all of my sinking funds. This is what I like to put into my weekly envelopes every single week. This is going to be all of my revolving funds. Now keep in mind, this is for 2 people. So $30 per person per week for groceries, $20 per person per week for gas. So that is going to be everything with that. And I will go ahead and go into the breakdown that I have for the weekly checks. So this one I did mess up on a little bit. So maybe let me go ahead and show last week. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and show last week because it's a little bit better of a representation. But this was our total for last week. This was the bills. So the Jetta car payment, our Wi-Fi bill, 2 credit card payments, our Spotify. I do have the student Spotify. And then as you can see here, I was saving for next week because my bills totaled out to be $229. So you know how earlier I was saying I don't want to be spending over $425 per week? Well, I knew that next week when I totaled up those bills, it did equal over $425. So I knew this week, because I was only spending $229 for my bills, I did want to go ahead and put some money in reserves to use for next week. So I saved $100. So my total bills was $329. I had $668 left to work with, and I did my simple stuffing, the 30, 15, 50 that I had already mapped out before. I allotted a little bit extra for groceries just because everything that's going on, especially going to so many different stores that I'm not used to going to. We are spending a little bit more of a higher price than we typically would. Gas I put in less because we're not driving that much, and even this was too much. So we had some left over. Luxury, I'm not putting anything in there right now just because everything going on. Toiletries, $10, cats, $10, laundry, $10. So this is just like the standard amount that I have for each one. And I actually did find $30. Well, I didn't find $30 in coins. I keep a big box with all of my coins in it. And one day it was full. One day last week, it was completely full, or about 3/4 of the way full, almost full, should I say. So guys, there you have it. This is my budget. This is how I budget my finances and how I budget my money. I will definitely be creating more videos in the future, and going down and breaking down my actual budget, writing everything down and stuffing my envelopes. Today, I did just want to talk about my budget and what I do, what my system is, what works for me. I'm definitely going to be making more videos about this, but definitely do leave a comment down below on what you want to see, what you're interested in, and drop a like, subscribe if you're interested in these types of videos, and I'll see you in a couple days or next week. All right, bye guys.